on Dr. Phil.
Boomer the dog, that's my name.
You eat dog food out of a dish?
Obsessed with animals.
I have 10 rabbits. I just want to be their real moms.
Adorable.
They're mommy's precious babies.
Or just plain creepy.
I attempted to breastfeed her.
You were breastfeeding a rabbit? You put on a paper dog suit. Do you date?
I had never been on a date, ever.
Go figure. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
Wilson, take
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
In 5, 4,
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Go, Dr. Phill.
How you doing? How are you? How you doing? Well, okay. Now, today we're talking about something that might seem, well, it just might seem very odd to you. Something that might just seem way out of the realm of possibility. But listen, it takes all kinds, and I want you to try not to judge. These are real people with real feelings who live their lives in their own unique ways. I think you may learn something from my guest today, who say they are obsessed with different animals. Now, let me start by saying I'm an animal lover. This is my dog, Maggie. We rescued her 7 years ago. Some of you may have seen her on the show. She comes to work with me every day, hangs out in my office, is pretty much a part of every meeting I have with my production team. Maggie and I are close. I love her. She is family, but never once have I ever thought that I wanted to be her.
Thank God.
Well, today you're going to meet someone who may actually love dogs even more than me. His name is Gary, but he prefers to go by Boomer the dog. Now, some days he looks like this. Other days he looks like this. He has a squeaky toy, eats dog food, barks at cats, and even sleeps in a doghouse. He says that one day he hopes to actually become a dog. Well, we're going to meet Gary later, but first I want you to meet Frances. We have to keep them separated, and you'll see why. She says she's completely obsessed with being the best mother ever, not to a child, but to her pet rabbits. Now, some are potty trained, all wear diapers, all get dressed in matching outfits, and all receive daily massages. Her daughter says her mom's bunny mothering has gone way too far.
I have 10 rabbits. Bubbles, Muffin, Pumpkin, Cuddles, Jasmine, Nibbles, Mimi, Sugar, Honey, Bella, and Cleopatra. It takes me about an hour and a half, sometimes a little longer, to get them all situated in their diapers and their toys. This is the rabbit's playroom. This is a dollhouse that I converted into a bunk bed for them. I get a lot of comments on their attire. My rabbits have more clothes than I do, actually. They have a whole rack of clothes and dresses for every occasion. I like to match the socks with the outfits. And these are the little undies that go underneath their dresses. I own a dance studio, and I am trying to teach them how to dance ballet. Are you gonna be a good student? Yes, you are, my precious girl. Here we have their tub, where I give them a bath. I am their mommy. Jazzy's getting a bathy. You gonna wash your ears? I give them all massages every day. You're getting a massage. I'm jealous. After everyone's fed, I read them a bedtime story. Count your eyes, 1 and 2. What color are they? Brown, green, or blue? And I sing them a lullaby. Mommy loves baby. Mommy loves baby. You are mommy's precious. Good night with your teddy bear. I just want to be with them every moment I can, and I want to actually be their real moms.
Okay, Why?
They comfort me, and I love them so much.
Now, you have a problem with this. What's your problem with it?
Well, I honestly just think that it's gone too far. I mean, she spends every moment with them. She dresses them up. She reads to them, sings to them, lullabies. She does this noise.
Oh, I got to hear the noise.
Oh my goodness. Why I do that, I feel that when I'm like giving kisses, I'll go, I give kisses, so it's like an animal kind of, I don't know. They like it. They seem to like it.
Okay. Frances says she does all she can to bond with her bunnies.
Yes.
And when I say all she can, I mean all she can. Her daughter says she is in complete shock when she learned exactly how far her mother has gone to bond with her bunnies. Take a look.
When Jasmine was a baby, I attempted to breastfeed her, even though I didn't have any milk. I wanted to try to get a deeper bond with her. Alrighty. I actually took my breath out. I was just actually singing to her. She was very tiny, and I held her, and I kind of rocked her in a little blanket. I put the scent of Banana's food to see if that would attract them. I just kind of just held her and played with her. She actually latched on. That feeling, me bonding with her, was, I can't explain it. This is beautiful. They have teeth now, so sometimes I do try to see, but she has no interest anymore.
Okay, you were breastfeeding a rabbit?
Yes, I attempted to.
You were breastfeeding a rabbit?
Well, I don't have milk, but when Bubbles was a baby, he was given to me at a very young age, and the mother wouldn't feed him. So I did go to, the vet told me to go to the pet store and get kitten milk in a bottle, but he wouldn't take it. So my immediate instinct was I wanted to get the sucking action going to see if he would, suck on the bottle. That didn't work, so I held him to my breast, and he immediately, for maybe 1 or 2 tries, and then he latched on, and he's actually started the sucking motion, and that helped him drink the bottle.
Did that seem, I don't know, creepy?
No, not at all.
To you, did it seem creepy that you're breastfeeding a rabbit?
No.
Doesn't she also want you to behave in a kind of an infantile way?
Yes, actually she does. She would hope that I would actually continue to drink from a bottle.
I only ask her to do that when she visits sometimes, and just to, just her and I, private time. And I'll ask her to put a little bonnet on and put strawberry milk in a bottle and say, Patricia, can we play house or something? And I'll try to feed her a bottle, but she won't have it.
And you have a problem with that?
Yes, absolutely. I refuse.
All right, look, let's take a break. Katerina's biggest concern for her mother, when is she going to find a man? If she had to choose between a boyfriend or one of her bunnies, which would it be? We'll find out when we come back. As we go to break, Frances shares some of her hopes for the future.
I would love to have a bunny mansion. I want them to have their own sections of beds, a little ramp to go up to the bed, a little play area, a little pool. Just have them. Oh, beautiful.
They're definitely her children. I mean, she's referred to the rabbits as my sisters.
It sounds crazy, but I want to try to get that experience where they're just part of me in everything I do.
I'm most worried to see how she would react once they're gone. They're gonna pass eventually. I don't honestly know what her reaction would be. I don't know if she would be 100% okay.
Jasmine's just gonna go right here. Okay, we're gonna go bye-bye. Okay, we're going for a ride. Bubbles, Muffin, Jasmine, are you having a good time? You're Mommy's precious babies. You are.
Oh, they're so precious. They're so big.
Well, 4 years ago, Frances bought a rabbit as a gift for her teenage daughter, Katerina. Turns out Frances had a much stronger bond with the bunny than her daughter. Frances says she so wants to be like her rabbits that she even eats like them.
I want to be so connected with them. Whatever they eat, I want to eat. This is my refrigerator. Have it stacked with a lot of lettuce and vegetables, cilantro, spinach, kale. This is the rabbit's hay. I usually nibble on this when I take them out in the park. It's really not that bad.
Well, Katerina says she wants her mother to treat her bunnies more like pets and make time to find a boyfriend.
I'm not in a relationship now. I work, and I come home and I'm with my rabbits.
I just wish that sometimes she would get out a little more, you know, go out with her friends or something like that in her free time. Really, all she wants to do in her spare time is to be home with the rabbits.
If I had to choose between a guy and my rabbits, I would choose my rabbits.
I don't really know how any guy would react with the rabbits.
I think a man would just think I'm crazy, number one, and he would say, you're spending too much time with your rabbits. We need time together, and that's not what I want.
Well, was your mother like this before she got the first rabbit?
No.
What was she like before she got the first rabbit?
Before she got the first rabbit, she was normal. I mean, me and her would spend time together, we would do stuff together. And then when the rabbits came around, it was just her entire focus changed. I mean, I ended up moving to my dad's house and I was staying with my dad, and every time I would visit her, I expected us to spend time together and us to, you know, have normal conversation, check up, you know, whatever. But every conversation was about the rabbits. Everything was, okay, let's take the rabbits here, let's take the rabbits there. Couldn't even leave the house because she didn't feel comfortable leaving the rabbits home without supervision. And it made it very difficult for me to just spend time with her.
Okay, listen, I'm the least judgmental person I've ever met. I mean, people, whatever you want to do is okay with me,
right,
as long as it's not hurting anybody. But if it seems to be getting in the way of normal living, then I would discuss it with you.
I don't think it is.
Well, I do. So I'm going to discuss it with you.
Okay.
When you start saying you want your daughter to dress up like a baby, and
well, not dress up.
Drink from, well, okay,
right,
put on a baby bonnet
Bonnets.
and drink from a bottle, and you've said, I don't want her to grow up, and you've said, don't ever trust a man, correct?
I did tell her that.
All right, so at that point, that tells me that you are retreating from something.
Okay.
Because when people get over-involved with animals, or they get over-involved with things that don't really require much from them emotionally, interactively, that's regressive.
Okay.
And listen, rabbits live an average of 8 to 12 years.
Yes.
And the bigger the rabbit, the shorter the lifespan.
Right.
So these rabbits are going to start dying off. And you're going to have like rabbit funeral after rabbit funeral after rabbit funeral. And that's going to be a series of losses for you because you've so invested in these rabbits. But at the same time, they don't require you to have an intelligent conversation. They don't require you...
I disagree with that. Sorry.
Okay, do you know how big a rabbit's brain is?
Well,
You know
see,
how big their vocabulary is?
well-
What's the last time you've said one of them said, hey, tell me how you're feeling,
they don't
Frances?
Speak, they don't speak, but
course not.
they give me vibes, and I know. I mean,
No, they give you what you project onto them.
Yes, I understand that.
But my point is, you don't get to go to the movies with them. You don't get to tell jokes with them. You don't get to hear from another person that challenges you and engages you.
I understand
and
that.
you're telling your daughter, don't ever trust a man, drink from this bottle. That sounds to me like regression to a lower level of functioning because you're afraid of something. And I think we both know that you've been hurt.
Yes.
And I think we both know that you're scared. And I think you're afraid of intimacy with someone. And you said to me, in your question to me, you said, I want to know how to balance this better.
Correct.
Because I don't want to not be a rabbit lover, an animal lover, a nurturer of these pets. But you said there is a balance issue that even you recognize.
Yes. I always felt, I don't feel like I'm neglecting her. I never neglect her. I would always put her first before anybody or anything. But I feel that I don't do as much with her as I used as we
don't do anything.
Right.
No, not.
That's what I'm telling you. The balance is gone. Your daughter is telling you you don't do anything with her anymore. She can talk to you about the rabbits. End of story.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Which means it is hurting someone. It's hurting your daughter as well as what I ask you what you're missing. I'm missing nothing. You're missing out on your daughter. She is going to grow up. She is grown. She's going to continue to evolve in her life. She's going to get married. She's going to have children. She's going to do a lot of different things.
You're right. So that's what I want to find, that balance on how I can.
Well, the only way you can do that is re-enter the human world and have relationships with friends and go on a date, do some things that are not rabbit-centric.
Okay. It just doesn't interest me. I don't know.
Does she interest you?
Yes.
Then it does interest you.
Okay.
She's telling you that you're not there anymore. She's missing you. Re-engage with your daughter.
Okay.
Next, he says that at 13, he realized he actually wanted to be a dog. He didn't want to have 13 dogs and dress them up and put tutus on them. He wanted to be a dog. Now, at 48 years of age, he lives as much like a canine as he possibly can. You're going to find out how committed he is to living a dog's life when we come back. Well, my next guest, Gary, says he's 50% dog and 50% human. He eats dog food and carries a dog toy with him everywhere he goes. He's 48. He even tried to legally change his name to Boomer the dog, but the judge said that dog won't hunt. Just kidding. Take a look.
I had a vivid imagination as a young boy. I was really a fanatic for every kind of dog story that there was. When I was 14, I watched a show on TV called Here's Boomer. I thought Boomer was a more independent dog, and he really reflected my views as a more independent person. So now I'm Boomer the dog. I don't use words, but I do bark like a regular dog. And I hold my paws up, and I try to be as real as possible as a stand-up dog character. Trying to live like a dog is something that I think brings me closer to what I really am. I eat dog food, but I don't do it every day, just when I want to feel more canine. I built this myself. I do have a dog house. Sometimes I sleep in it. I usually play with a squeaky toy. I have some bones and some other toys. I like these doggy scrubs, and I like the longer kind of clothes that feel more like it's fur. I have dog brushes, a dog comb. Every day I always have ears. I like to groom my own fur. I use dog shampoo, which I often mix with regular human shampoo. The dog shampoo has a special scent that smells like a wet dog. I haven't been to any doctors for years. I've always thought that it would be better to go to a vet. I feel really comfortable with everything that I am. I might like to be in a more furry form. I think there might be a special place for that in this world. I think that the dog is just so much a part of me now that it's really inescapable. If I couldn't be a dog, I think I'd feel like just an empty shell.
You've got your dog ears on? Mm-hmm. And you do them that way so they look like dog ears, right?
Yep, every day I always wear those pigtail ears, I call them.
Yeah, and you've got a collar on with a dog.
It says Boomer the dog. That's my name.
Boomer the dog.
I don't have my address on it, but
Yeah, you're 48, right?
48 years old. That's right,
Yeah.
in human years.
Yeah. If anybody at home is still watching this show today, a lot of them are thinking that you're weird.
I get that a lot, but to myself, I don't feel that I'm strange. I know what I look like to the outside world. I think a good word would be eccentric. I feel
Eccentric?
that I'm eccentric.
You know, me, whatever floats your boat, if it's not hurting somebody else, I mean, if it's what you want to do. Do you consider yourself what's called a furry?
I do. I feel that I'm a dog by default, but furry is the scene that I'm in. I found that after I discovered that I was a dog, and I kind of fit in there, so I just went with that.
You watched a movie when you were like 11, right?
I saw the Shaggy DA with my dad. I had him take me to that movie because saw an ad for it. Thought, wow, I love this. This guy is transforming into a big sheepdog. And somehow it just made me, I don't know, that was my direction in life suddenly, was to look like and be like the dog. I really wanted to transform and actually be a sheepdog at that time.
Yeah, now your dog suit, so I have to call it a dog suit? Is that what it is, or costume?
Dog costume, and it's named Papy is the name because he's made out of shredded paper.
So this is paper?
That's actually paper. The fur is all paper on it, and it's just made over clothing.
You bark at people, right?
I bark.
Yeah, thanks for that. You eat dog food out of a dish?
I do eat dog food out of a dish once in a while. I've tried kibble, but I like canned food.
Okay, and when you get down and eat this disgusting food, what is your point?
I like to feel closer to a dog by doing it. It's one of those things that I get kind of comfortable with it. Every so often, I want to be a little bit more dog. So I do things like I go into my dog house, or I, eat from a bowl and I have my water dish next to me. So I kind of am like an owner. When I serve the food, I put it on the floor and then I sort of become the dog.
Yeah. Do you date?
I don't date. I've never been on a date, ever.
Go figure. Next, Gary tried to legally change his name to Boomer the dog, but he lost twice. Find out why his fight isn't even close to being over when we come back.
Back in 2010, I went to the local court to try to get my name changed to Boomer the dog. The court turned me down. The judge thought that having the name Boomer the dog might make it so that if I called emergency services, the operators might not take the call seriously.
911, what is the emergency?
I was sad to lose my case, but the thing is, I'm still trying to get my name changed.
Well, Gary, a.k.a. Boomer, says if he couldn't behave like a dog, he'd be devastated, an empty shell, missing his personality. So you were listening to the first story, right, when I was talking to Frances about her rabbits, and I said, it's okay with me. I'm an animal lover myself, but is this a way of avoiding life for you in other ways? You're 48, you're a virgin, right?
Yes.
You've never been on a date. You don't have a job. You just put on a paper dog suit and walk around town, which doesn't seem to me to be a highly productive course in life.
Well, I feel it makes me more social because it's something that I engage in with people, wearing the costume outwardly, going around the city, and I kind of can get friends that way too, people who interact with me as a dog. And owners, mostly dog owners, really like the situation, of me being a dog on the, outside and stuff.
How many of them have asked you to come home for dinner?
People do say, they have a thing, can I take you home? They actually say that to me many times. For fun. I think they're just having
don't
fun.
Go.
I know.
Don't go. If somebody's wanting to take you home, don't go.
I don't know. Yeah, I'm safe. I know the safety rules, so I'm good.
Yeah. What do you do for money?
Well, my mom established a trust fund for me. I own my own home. I kind of have just, it doesn't cost too much for me to live.
Yeah.
And I kind of live simply. I feel like the dog philosophy is just a simple life a little bit.
Yeah.
So and dog food doesn't cost that much. So I'm not doing too bad.
Now, you don't really think that you're part dog?
In some way, I have to believe that I am.
Okay. So
because the circumstances over the years that have shown me that there must be something there because it's that strong of a thing for me.
So you think you could be a dog trapped in a human body?
Yeah, in some way. I don't know how it is. I don't know how it happened. But I do really believe that it's a possibility that maybe I was intended to be a dog somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. Is it possible that you went to a movie with your dad early on about a dog and you have warm feelings and memories of that, and then you saw other dog things and they're all kind of always happy endings with a soundtrack behind them, and so you just kind of get caught up in that fantasy?
People have said, that it might be a fantasy that I have in the past.
Well, it's fantasy. And listen, again,
I know.
Listen, people do this for a hobby. That's okay. But you're missing an awful lot of life, which is, if you make a conscious choice to do that, then so be it.
Yeah, well, I feel it's a good compromise for me. I mean, it's kind of a compromise to be both a dog and a human in a way. But
it beats working, right?
Well, I'm trying to put it together. See, that's the thing, is I'm trying to integrate my life and get a lot of human things on the dog side and a lot of dog things on the human side. Put it all together and make a whole that is together and it's me, and actualize myself.
All right, up next. Her daughter insists on wearing a wolf head for entertainment, but her mom says, look, she just hates it. She hates everything furry. She says it's driven a wedge between them, and her mother's really curious, is this some kind of phase or hobby, or is this her daughter at 48? We'll be right back.
The first video I saw on furries, I thought, this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
Every time I try to talk to my mom about what a furry is, she just doesn't want to hear about it.
So what do you get out of this?
I get fun.
You can't do this without putting a big giant head on?
Shauna says she discovered furries 8 years ago. Her fiance is a furry, and she loves the furry lifestyle. Now, when we say furry, we're talking about people that are into these kind of anthropomorphic sort of images. Her mother, Lori, says furries are freaks. I disagree with that. I don't think they're freaks. It can look odd. I get that. It's a diverse group of people. Some do it just as a goof. Some have fun with it. Shauna says her mother just needs to relax about her furry fascination. Lori wants her daughter to grow up, go to college, start a career, and dump her furry lifestyle forever.
My daughter Shauna is a furry. To me, she's a giant stuffed animal.
Oh my God.
I don't understand it.
Every time I try to talk to my mom about what a furry is, she just doesn't want to hear about it. I'll tell her what it is, but it goes right over her head.
It makes me very uncomfortable that she enjoys putting this costume on. It's a little freaky.
So what do you get out of this?
I get fun. I get friends.
You can't do this without putting a big giant head on?
The first video I saw on furries, I thought this is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life.
The best thing about being a furry is you feel like you're in a big family. Furries are very, very, very accepting.
My concerns with Shauna is she doesn't know who's under those heads.
Nobody's a criminal. Nobody's a rapist. I mean, they're awkward, but they're not rapists.
What happens if some crazy lunatic out there decides it's hunting season and decides to shoot one of these people? I have rules that Shauna cannot wear that costume around me or anybody that I'm friends with because I don't want them to think something's wrong with her.
The arguments over me being a furry happen at least once or twice a week. She has called me some names before, low life being one of them.
Aren't you concerned about any of these people that you don't see them under their big heads? That they might be with someone like really creepy and scary?
There's a lot of people who are creepy who actually don't have suits.
Shauna's 20 years old. I don't believe she's ready to take off and do anything right now. She's not responsible. She's not working.
When is this going to end? I mean, when are you going to like pick up with your life and do something productive other than put a big stuffed head on top of your beautiful face?
I've always told her you're becoming the grown-up that grew down. You know, I've mentioned to Shauna, there is no professional furry. Where do you go from here?
Well, if you think about it, we have all encountered furries. We call them mascots. You see them at basketball games and football games, big heads and costumes. But here we're talking about a lifestyle. Shauna's furry identity is a wolf named Colpeo. Take a look.
My persona's name is Colpeo. Colpeo is a maned gray wolf hybrid. He's so cute and I love him. He's got that bad boy nature and he just kind of ended up getting a lot of piercings. I tell everyone all the time he's like my big brother. He has rainbow paw pads, rainbow feet, rainbow everything. How can you not like this face? He's so cute. When I wear Colpeo, I get more energetic and I just want to go have fun, and I know that I'm in that zone and I just want to go entertain people and be cute.
Okay, this is killing me. Oh, God. It's definitely hard to watch my daughter in a fursuit.
And there you have it.
Where did you learn to do this?
It's mainly about not talking to people when you're in suit that aren't in suit, because it's all about keeping the act going. It's like being at Disneyland, except you're in the suit.
Oh, this is creepy. This is so creepy.
Okay, you have a problem with her doing this. Why?
Because I don't understand it. I don't understand if it's for entertainment purposes like she's told me. Why does she have to wear a head? Why can't she trust that just her beautiful self can entertain and make people smile?
Well, if she wants to do it every once in a while or something, or go to these parties or conventions where everybody's in suits or whatever, what does that hurt?
Because you don't know who's under these heads. I'm concerned that it could be somebody really creepy. You don't know. She doesn't know. She's not street smart. She grew up in Southern California. I'm from New York, by the way. And I see her as an innocent.
I know who's creepy and I know who's not, because I hear rumors. Like a rumor passes like a wildfire in the community.
Right. So if somebody dangerous gets in the community, or someone that's offensive or abusive or exploitive or some way gets in there, word spreads quick.
Definitely.
Where did you get this?
He was made on commission by an artist named Zero, and he's actually my second head of him made. I don't know if it'll fit you. You can try.
No, we don't. No, it's not an issue. I was just seeing, it's like a helmet.
Yeah, he's a foam, completely made out of foam.
Is this a hobby?
It's a hobby. I'm an artist. I draw for people. I will give them art to other furries, to normal people. I mean, I'm not just like, this isn't my life. Yeah. I'm an artist.
I actually have a problem with what you're doing. And and it's maybe different than your problem, but you're probably going to agree with what I'm saying. And when we come back, Shauna attended a FurCon last week, and our cameras went along to see what happens at these conventions.
That was fun.
We're going behind the mask and talking to furries that are willing to show their faces. a first-hand look when we come back. Lori says furries are creepy, potentially dangerous people hiding behind animal masks. Shauna says furries are friendly, welcoming, and safe. Plus, she says, look, she's got good judgment. When Shauna attended a recent furry convention, she let our cameras follow her and meet some of her furry friends, both masked and unmasked. Take a look.
This is my 4th furry convention. Going to these conventions helps me open up to a lot more people. You're there to impress. You're meeting people from around the world. You need to be in front of the camera, acting out, looking good.
My character is Ray Fox. I'm from Canada. This is about my 10th convention. This has been a very positive experience for me.
I would describe it like going to a mythological zoo full of weird creatures.
My name's Chris. I'm a neuroscientist. My persona is Felicienne, the fennec fox, as you can see. I'd say I've been to about a half a dozen conventions. Just made so many friends. They're all very nice people.
It's been a great convention so far. There's been food and dancing, and there's just been so much fun happening. I can't wait to enjoy the rest of this convention. So I'll see you all later.
If it's a hobby, if it doesn't hurt anybody and put her in danger, then I guess I wouldn't really personally have an issue with it, and certainly professionally wouldn't have an issue with it. My question is, you've dropped out of high school?
Yes.
Look, here's my point about this. Your job right now is to prepare yourself to self-sustain in life, to be able to make a living and pay your bills and your rent. And right now, you're paying her cell phone bill, you're paying her insurance. You say she can't budget, she can't write checks. She thinks everything's just going to magically come together, but the truth is it's not.
I'm well aware.
And I don't care whether you're being a furry or playing video games or you go goth or whatever. You've got to learn math, get an education. I don't care if you do it with a tail on or not. I could care less about that. But you've got to prepare yourself for life. And you're not doing that, correct?
Yeah, correct.
How old are you?
20.
Yeah, look, you're an adult.
Yeah.
You're going to be 21 soon. You have to be able to sustain yourself. And you need to stop enabling her. If you don't like her current lifestyle, stop paying her bills, stop making it possible for her to do all of this.
Well, I worry about
listen,
her.
really, if this is a hobby, be
It's
a
not
hobby.
just a hobby, because she's obsessed with this. She's drawing these pictures. Everything is about the furry convention and the furries. So it's beyond a hobby.
So it's a passionate hobby. You hear what I say? I don't care if she learns math with a tail on or not, as long as she learns it. I don't care if she likes to do this on weekends. If she has a job and she can pay her rent and she can get transportation, whether it be a bus pass or a car or whatever, you need to stop. She's 20 years old. I mean, come on. You pay for her to be non-productive and then complain that she's non-productive.
What am I supposed to do? Just let
Stop paying her to be non-productive.
So just let her go? Just leave her out there and say, okay, go on your own when she's not going to take care of herself?
Well, we don't know that, do we?
But the thing is, I don't really invest all of my time into being a furry.
Good, you won't miss it that much then. Get a job, get an education.
I won't miss it.
No, you got to get a job and get an education. If you want to do it, do it.
I'm
she
just
may
saying.
disagree. You ask my opinion, I'm just telling you. I think, number one, you have to stand on your own 2 feet.
That's what I've been saying. I've been saying I want to get a job. The only thing that I do for work right now is drawing on commission.
Yeah, that's not a job.
Yeah, it's not a job.
Yeah, that's not a job. Unless you're doing it 40 hours a week and somebody's paying you to do it,
Yeah,
it's not a job.
not.
So you need to stop enabling her. I'd stop paying her cell phone. I would stop paying insurance on a car, which means she wouldn't have a car to drive. She needs to get a job. And when she gets a job, if you want to support and help by supplementing in some way, do it. But until she does that, you're just getting played, Mom.
I told her I'd give it a shot, that I want to try and move out and be on my own. And
Do you have money for a down payment on an apartment? Do you have money for utility deposits?
My friend has it covered already.
So you're just going to quit
Not quit.
this and start doing it with somebody else. You're bleeding her, now you're going to bleed somebody else instead of pulling your own weight. Why should we drag you because you want to wear a helmet? You see my point?
Yeah.
I don't care if you like it. I'm just telling you the truth. If you came to me for a job, it would be a real short interview. You got to, what's your education? Well, I don't have my GED or high school diploma or any college. Well, okay. Appreciate your coming in, and best of luck to you. You can't even join the Army without a couple of years of college.
Yeah. Well, at least I'm not standing on a street corner doing meth.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So see, you got all that on the good side. Now you got to start building on it. You're as much ownership in this as she does. All right, we're out of time. I've told them what I think. No point repeating myself. Special thanks to our medical team at Doctor On Demand for assisting us with some of our guests in preparation for the shows this week. If you at home want to have your own Doctor On Demand, there's a new app that we have created. You can go to Google Plays or App Store and download the DOD app, and you can have a doctor on demand if you are not feeling well. We'll see you next time. Hear what I'm saying? You're enabling her. I don't care about this, but you got to take care of yourself. All right, thanks, guys.
Today on Dr. Phill.
Your husband cheated on you.
An affair with one of her bridesmaids.
We drank a little bit, and then we had sex.
No.
Turns ugly.
You forced yourself on me, Jeffrey.
Every single time was consensual.
One of you is lying.
Accusations fly.
I believe Amy will do anything in her power to get my husband away from me.
You believe she's always been in love with your husband.
And now...
Did you admit that you got pregnant on purpose?
No. She did.
It's a bitter custody battle.
I had to call the police to go get my kid.
You're only saying it for custody.
You're lying for custody.
You say he has threatened now to kill you.
He threatened my life, yes.
Everything that you're saying is complete lie.
Are you kidding me?
I'm going to tell you how it is. You're not even listening. I'm going to tell all of you people. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phill.
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
In 5, 4,
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Well, Jeffrey and Gwen had a beautiful wedding, and now they have 3 gorgeous daughters and live in an upscale neighborhood near a golf course. Jeffrey and Gwen even welcomed Jeffrey's high school friend, Amy, into their home at one point. Now, after all, she is the godmother to their children and was a bridesmaid in their wedding. Now, Jeffrey and Gwen's life seemed, well, it just seemed idyllic. That is until one drunken night when Jeffrey and Amy took their friendship, well, they took it a step too far.
Jeffrey and I have been friends since the 11th grade. It was like a friends with benefits for a short period of time. That didn't last. We just ended up being close buddies. Jeffrey always had a girlfriend, but always had a few on the side. Jeffrey has cheated on his wife many times. 3 nights before his wedding ceremony, he slept with another woman.
With this ring, I do thee well. I do thee well.
I was a bridesmaid in their wedding. After Jeffrey got married, we still stayed in touch. Jeffrey asked me to be the godmother of his twin girls. 2 years ago, Jeffrey cheated on his wife with me. We ended up sleeping together after drinking a half a bottle of whiskey. After we had had sex, he said how he forgot how good it was. I was like, this is just too weird. You need to go home to your wife. And that's when he was saying, no, that family. He's a pig. He's never gonna change. The day after we slept together, he sends me a text saying that he was gonna come and get it whenever he wanted, that I was his now. I didn't respond. It creeped me out.
Well, Amy says she slept with Jeffrey only one other time. And that's when things turned into what she describes as criminal.
Jeffrey had a key to my apartment, so he let himself in. He brought a bottle of whiskey, and he did 2 or 3 shots. I didn't want to do any shots because I didn't want anything to happen. I kept telling him, go home to your family, and he's just like, whatever. I told him no several times. I wasn't gonna yell or scream or anything. Jeffrey's got a really bad temper, and nobody ever says no to Jeffrey. I did try and push him off me, and he's a big guy. I couldn't get him off me. He forced himself on me. That's when I really panicked. He left right away. I know he wasn't coming back because he got what he wanted. 2 weeks later, I was feeling strange. I took a pregnancy test, and it came up positive.
Well, understand, Jeffrey is adamant the sex was consensual and claims that she lied and accused him of rape only when she realized he was not going to leave his wife.
2 years ago, I had 2 drunken nights with Amy, and I slept with Amy twice. Both times that Amy and I had sex, they were not protected. Amy claimed that I raped her. I made a mistake with sleeping with her, but I definitely didn't rape her. I never thought that my best friend of 12+ years would ever accuse me of raping her. And now with the baby in the middle, Amy is going above and beyond Call of Duty to make sure that I lose my kid. I don't think Amy is stable at all. She had a deposition with my lawyer. Every single word of what she said in that deposition was false. I would never, ever rape anyone. That night, it was mutual, consensual. I want to clear my name and let everyone know that I did not rape her.
Okay, I'm interested in getting to the bottom of what happened and what didn't happen. Are you?
I'm ready.
Are
Yes.
you? And I want to tell you that this is going to be a very serious conversation with very serious consequences here. So you need to make the resolution right now that it's time for truth-telling. So let me get this right. You guys have known each other a long time.
Yes.
You had a sexually active relationship some time ago when
Back
you were
in
younger.
high school, yes.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yes.
Okay. Then you get together one night and you're drinking and have sex. That was consensual.
Yes, yes.
Okay. The problem is a week later because you say that he comes back that night, but this time you don't want to participate.
No.
That's a lie. I mean, every time we had sex, even when we were younger, we were drunk. Every time it was some kind of whiskey involved,
Jeffrey, you
some kind
never
of beer
drank.
involved. We drank a little bit, and then we had sex.
No. The first time was definitely at your house.
Okay, now, again, I want to stop y'all. Remember that I said this to you at the top of the show. Remember that I cautioned you to not spin this, to not stretch this, to not lie about this, to tell the truth. I am trained as a forensic psychologist, and let me tell you something. When people lie about what has happened between the two of them to gain leverage for control of a child, that is bad, bad business. Now, you need to both take a serious deep breath and think about what you're saying and doing right now. One of you is lying, and the other one is going to be saying, he told me, he warned me, and I wouldn't listen. I'm trying to help you both here. Let's tell the truth.
Let's tell the truth.
All right, there are inconsistencies the night of conception. Now, here's Amy's version. She says the night of conception was April 26, 2012. She says she received and ignored a text from Jeff at 11 p.m. saying, I'm coming to get it. No excuses. You have that text?
I had to get a factory reset on that phone I had then.
Okay, well, here's what Jeffrey says. He says that the night of conception was the 19th, not the 26th. He said he arranged with Amy to pick up patio chairs at her home. Did you do that?
The goal was to go there and get the chairs, but
11 o'clock at
I
night.
never got the chairs.
11 o'clock at night.
You went over there to get the chairs, but you didn't get the chairs.
While I was going there to hang out, on my way back home, grabbing the chairs and come back. I was actually on the phone, on speakerphone, and my wife actually heard you say, come on over. And I said to her, all right, I'm gonna go and grab those chairs. And that was it.
Did you tell him in the presence of his wife to come on over?
No, I did not.
So
I did not answer. There
so
was like
they're
3
both
text
lying.
Yes, there was like 3 text
It was
messages.
a phone call.
This was
Right.
other time. The text messages were saying that you were coming over.
Right.
So we pretended like we were sleeping. That's what we did when you came in, when you let yourself in. You used your key and let yourself in.
No.
Okay, you say
I'm not gonna
Jeffrey
go against
used
the door.
his key.
You came up.
You say Jeffrey used his key to let himself into her townhouse. He says you answered the door and let him in.
No, I did not.
Do you have
No,
a
I
key
did
to her
not.
house?
Not anymore, but I did. Yes, I did.
You did then?
Yes, I did.
But you don't now?
No.
Okay. You say Jeffrey came upstairs with a bottle of whiskey. He says you told him to get the whiskey and shot glasses.
We drank it off. We drank it all from the week before.
it was a
2 weeks
half
before.
bottle. It was the first time that we had sex. You and I had the first bottle down halfway. When I came in the door,
Whatever.
you said,
You
grab
brought
the
up-
bottle, we can finish it off. So I did. I grabbed that bottle,
Then why
took
didn't I
one shot
drink?
myself, went upstairs, then we were playing for your son. He goes to bed. We take one shot together. A total of 2 for me, 1 for you. We sit down in the bed, talk more. I take one more shot. We lay down, we have sex. At the end of us having sex, you told me that you're ovulating. It's possible you'll get pregnant.
That was during. That's when I tried to push you off me, Jeffrey.
Never pushed. Never pushed.
I tried to.
Are you serious?
Jeffrey, right when you were about to finish, yes.
Gotcha.
As I tried pushing you off of me. And I told you,
and I
no,
having a
don't,
conversation
don't.
of you ovulating while I'm raping you. Impossible.
Jeffrey,
Impossible.
I never reported this because I never felt comfortable enough to
Right.
say that
Go for
about my, I thought was my friend.
Right.
Jeffrey, you did that. When you came up there, you kissed me on the cheek. My son came over and wiped it off. He said, here, Mommy, let me get that. Are you kidding me?
Amy, everything that you're saying is a complete lie.
You said he walked in and began kissing you, and you told him to go home. He says you both took shots of whiskey and talked about the last time that you had had sex together.
No, I did not drink at all.
How good it
because
was. How perfect. And our second time was the same exact way. Am I lying about that?
Yes,
Be real.
Jeffrey.
Be real. Tell
We
the truth.
never talked that it was
Get
perfect.
outta here.
We were drunk.
Get out of here. The first and second time, you had a shot, I had 3?
You said that...
The second time I didn't drink a thing.
You said Jeffrey took your clothes off and had unprotected sex.
Yes.
He says it was consensual sex, but without a condom.
Yeah.
So
It
you
was
both
without
agree
a
it was
condom.
unprotected.
It was unprotected.
You told Jeffrey no, and he says, in fact, he asked if she wanted to make my boy.
Yes.
He says he hugged you goodbye and then left.
No, you did not. I went to the bathroom when I came out. You were dressed and you turned your phone on or text back or you were thinking about how you were going to tell your wife or whatever you were going to tell her.
Tell her what?
Where you were.
She knew where I was.
No. Oh, my God, help me.
I assume you filed rape charges?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I never said anything. No. My whole thing was I never even used that word. And when this came up and they were asking me if this was consensual, I'm like, no, I mean, I did say no. In the beginning, I did let it happen. So I feel that it's not, I mean, it's, in a way, it's my fault. I mean, I let it happen.
You gotta be honest. We're here to tell the truth. My goal is to get through all this, okay? And let's co-parent. Tell the whole world that you were never raped and we can move forward. That's all I'm asking. I'll figure it all.
I never said that word. I said you forced yourself on me.
You described rape.
You forced yourself on me, Jeffrey.
Well, you certainly used that word with us. Did he rape you or did he not?
He forced himself on me, and I said no.
Well, Jeffrey's wife, Gwen, believes Amy is in love with her husband and set out to get pregnant on purpose. Well, you know what? She is here, and we're going to add her to this conversation after the break.
Amy is irrational, delusional, unstable. This woman was in my wedding, and then she has sex with my husband. She gave him drinks. She knew she was ovulating and intentionally gets pregnant.
And later, I've been doing this 12 years. That's pretty amazing.
I do want to apologize. I want all this to get out, but the problem is that...
Apparently you don't.
I need to take a break. I can't do it.
Yeah, well, I don't take breaks.
The way I found out Amy was pregnant is she sent me a text. The first thing that went through my brain was my wife and kids. I sit Gwen down and I tell her Amy's pregnant. It's a possibility it's mine. Immediately, it hits her. She starts crying. I think we cried for about 3 hours. I begged for a second chance to prove that I could probably be a better husband than I was the first time.
Well, you just heard Jeffrey describe the pain he caused his wife when he revealed that he cheated with another woman. But the other woman wasn't just any woman. She was his high school best friend, godmother of his children, and even one of his wife's bridesmaids. Now, Amy got pregnant as a result of 2 drunken nights with Jeffrey. Now, Jeffrey's wife, Gwen, believes Amy did this on purpose. She set out to destroy her family from the beginning and is now using the baby as a pawn in some twisted game.
Amy is trying to destroy my marriage. Amy is irrational, delusional, unstable. She does anything in her power to hurt people. She's just a mean, mean person. This woman was in my wedding. She was the godmother to my twins and a so-called close family friend. And then she has sex with my husband. I want Amy to stop spreading rumors that my husband raped her. She wanted Jeffrey to come over that night. She gave him drinks. She knew she was ovulating and intentionally gets pregnant. And now she wants to take full custody of the baby and continue to try to destroy our lives. I believe Amy will do anything in her power to get my husband away from me.
Sorry, I can't. I mean, this is my child.
I am afraid that Amy would do something more drastic. I am afraid that if this doesn't work out, that she's going to take it to another level.
Okay, Gwen, this clearly was disruptive to your marriage. I mean, your husband cheated on you.
It disrupted my whole life. My whole life was disrupted. We were together every day.
And he was sick of that.
Can I talk? You had your time.
All right, well, I'm speaking my mind. That's why you guys went to therapy, because you had a sex addiction.
Really had nothing to do with you being pregnant?
That's not what you said.
So why didn't we go before this? Why didn't we go before this? It wasn't
because you didn't know.
No, because you were pregnant. Think about that, Amy.
What happened between the first time you had, by your definition, consensual sex with him, and the second time when you didn't want to have sex with him? What happened to change your opinion?
I was just like, that's wrong. How are we ever going to do Easter, do any family?
We did do Easter. You had sex with my husband, then sat and laughed in my face. I was talking about me and my husband having another baby, that we wanted to have a boy, we were going to go to a fertility clinic, and you said, another baby? Jeffrey? Jeffrey doesn't want to have another baby, not with you. I'm like, what do you mean not with me? No. Who else would he have a baby with? He doesn't want to have another baby with you. He doesn't want to. I know him.
You believe she's always been in love with your husband?
Yeah, you know what? After all of this happened, there's so many things that she said and done, and it's like, oh my God, like the light bulb went off in my head, like, holy crap, I should have known the whole entire time.
Were you all together after this forced sex?
We had the Easter egg hunt, yes.
Yeah.
They came over.
So after...
Let me say this.
Well, no, hang on.
I'm sorry. This is just so mind-boggling.
After he violates you...
After the second time.
You all got together for an Easter egg hunt.
She brought the kids over, yeah.
And you came to my house for Easter.
Yes, I did, yes.
There it is, picture right there.
Oh, yep, that's the Easter egg hunt.
So
my kid.
Tell me, hold on.
All right,
Help me wrap my head around the fact that he comes over and violates you with your son in the house, and then you go hang out with them and go to their house to hang out. That, to me, is unusual behavior for a rape victim, to seek out the rapist and have an Easter egg hunt or anything else.
I've never said I've never spread rumors about him raping me. I've never said anything up until this deposition when they asked me, was it consensual? And I was being honest. This is a deposition. I'm sitting there with court reporters and all this stuff. And then I told him, no, I did say no. I didn't push him off me until the end.
You're lying for custody.
How? How is that going to help my case?
Your statement right there, I never said any of this until the deposition, shows that you're only saying it for
because
custody.
I didn't say anything. I did tell my father.
Your sister? Oh, you told your dad? Really?
Yeah. Sure.
Then why?
Because after he...
May I clarify a
yes.
statement you just made?
Yeah.
You said, I didn't push him off of me until the very end.
Yes.
So...
I did not fight until the end. I did not fight.
So was it?
I said no.
It was half rape.
Was it okay?
I said he forced himself on me.
Right.
Okay?
But
I never said he raped me.
Boy, I'm telling you, you guys are self-destructive, you two. So I'm just going to take a break. Next, Jeffrey and Gwen say baby Elijah shows up for visits with unexplained bruises on his body, scratches on his face, and even blisters on his fingers. Is this a possible cause for concern? We'll talk about that when we come back.
It was really hard to see Jeffrey gushing over this baby. It was hard to see how happy he was, and I was hurt. Jeffrey always wanted a boy, and now it's like she was gonna have that with him. It was heartbreaking.
And later,
if everything is just in the best interest for Elijah, what about changing his name?
It's
David.
only a nickname.
It's a whole new name.
Started calling him Bentley, Benny.
well, let's confuse
And that's
the
healthy.
kid.
Thank you.
I think that Amy's neglectful when it comes to the baby. There's lots of times when the baby would come with multiple scratches and bruises, things that look like burns. There's a time that he came here and he looked like a complete abused child. Amy gets very defensive when we ask her about the cuts and bruises. She gets very upset. She says he's just a boy. That's what boys do.
You now believe that she is a negligent parent?
I've always believed that.
Okay, so you saw bruises and scratches and all of that type thing?
Yeah, tons.
Never been to the hospital, never one stitch.
The one day he came over with a ton of bruises and scratches, Jeffrey wanted to take him to the doctor the next day. She wouldn't allow it. It went as far.
Yeah.
Oh, but I
we had
stopped you.
text
Did I
messages
pull
to
up
prove
and
that.
stop
Yeah,
you?
we had text messages to prove it because when he called the doctor for an appointment, they said we're on the other line with the mother, and she said that he
was
doesn't need
from
an
being
appointment.
sick.
No,
Okay.
it was for this. He wanted
All right,
to show
can
the
I
doctor.
ask you one question
Yes.
just for my
Yes.
own clarity, and then they can interrupt and say whatever they want to say? When you had sex with him on the night in question, not the first night, but the night on question, you didn't really try to stop him until the end because you worried about getting pregnant. So you wanted to stop this before.
No, there was no stopping him. I told him no. I did let it happen, and then I panicked when, towards the end, when I did push him off me. That's when I panicked, and that's when I said.
But you were going along with it up till the panic.
So why not take
Not
the
some-
pill? I'm sorry.
Hopefully.
Sorry.
Wow. I've been doing this 12 years. That's pretty amazing.
I do want to apologize. I want all this to get out, but the problem is that
Apparently you don't.
We weren't able to
they're
say
sitting here
anything to
lying
her
now,
for a
and
long
it's-
time. And now that we have
And
a
this is
final
how it is. They're
chance
just
to-
going to team up. This is how it's going to be.
When it comes to her saying that she wanted to push him off because she didn't want to get pregnant, she could have took the Plan B pill the next day and it would have been a done deal. It's easy just as that. And that's what confuses me. I really am sorry for interrupting. I'm very sorry.
Okay. All right, so we have a 15-month-old child in the midst of all this, right?
Yes.
And you want to take him out of state.
I want to move back home where we are all from.
Right.
We want to go back home.
And you have
yes.
family there and support
Yes,
there,
which I
but you
need
don't
for-
have where you are
I
now.
have nothing here, yes.
So you want to go there and be around your family and, in fact, be around his family.
Yep.
Did you have any objection to his family being in the child's life?
No.
And you all feel that she is a negligent and perhaps abusive parent because of the bruises, damages, scratches, all of that. You say he has threatened now to kill you.
Yes, he threatened my life, yes.
He threatened your life. And how did he do that?
He was on a rant and rave because he didn't like my signature. And he stood there and he was behind me. I was getting the baby out of the seat because he wouldn't give me the baby. So I went and got the baby out of the truck, and he was standing behind me saying he can't wait for me to die from my medical conditions. And then he said, you know what, it's going to be sooner than you think, and it's not going to be from the medical conditions.
Mm-hmm. Did you admit to her that you got pregnant on purpose?
No.
Did she admit to you that she got pregnant on purpose?
She did. When Jeffrey told me the story, he said that he was drinking, she only had one shot, that during sex she said she was ovulating, it was okay not to wear protection. Afterwards, he asked her to take the Plan B pill, and she said, no, I'm not going to do that. So I said to him, you're a liar. I don't believe any of that. You're making it look like you're this great husband who she took advantage of. So I called up Amy and said, I need to hear your side of the story. We met up. She invited me into her house. We sat
After you guys harassed me, saying you were going to come to my work, after he harassed my father, my sister,
Exactly.
and you're the one that told everybody.
Tell all your workers who you are.
Yeah. So after we went to her house and sat down and talked, her story was Jeffrey's exact same story. And I was so shocked. And I said, do you realize that you're telling me you did this on purpose? Because you're tracking your ovulation. You don't have a boyfriend or a husband. I have 4 kids. I don't even track my ovulation. Why are you tracking your ovulation? And having sex with my husband only on that day. And then not using protection.
To me, that's doing it on purpose. And when I said that to her, she didn't deny it.
So she didn't tell you that she did it on purpose?
She didn't say the words, I did this on purpose.
Thank you.
No, she didn't say the words, I did this on purpose.
That story tells itself.
You're just inferring that from the facts that you just outlined.
Right. And then when she said that, I said, you're basically telling me right now that you did this on purpose.
Are you going to file criminal charges against him?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not putting my son through that. My older
I want
son.
you to.
I think you should too.
You should.
Then I'll do it.
Please.
I'm not playing games. It's going to be a he said, she said.
No,
this is going to
I got
drag
proof.
out.
I got
We have lots of
texts,
evidence.
I got voice
That's awesome.
recordings. Believe me, I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
So I want you to.
Okay.
Embarrass your family and our kid.
How? How am I going to embarrass
Because you're
my
lying
family?
in front of all these people.
I'm
all
lying?
these watchers, you're lying. Again, all I'm asking you to do is say that it never happened and we can move forward. I want to co-parent with our child. Understand that.
I said I let it freaking happen, Jeffrey.
No, you said in the deposition that I raped you, that I forced myself. There was no force.
Yes, I said no. I said go home to your wife, Jeffrey.
No, there was that. All those things never happened. You and I, we came together. It happened. The next day, it was normal. Nothing ever changed. I had a key to your house still. Your doors were never changed, ever.
How many times do I have to say this? I never said anything until this deposition when they asked me. They asked me, did you ever? No, it isn't.
So
they said, did you say no? I said, yeah. I said no. I said no twice. I told you to go home to your wife.
Okay.
At the time this happened, did you consider yourself to have been raped?
No. No. I was confused and I was uncomfortable.
Okay.
All right, Amy says that Jeffrey recently got out of control during one of their visitation exchanges. We're going to find out what she says Jeffrey did that forced her to take out a protection order against him. We'll be right back.
My biggest fear is that I don't have my son, that my son is raised without me. I didn't have a father growing up, and not seeing my father there affected me. And now that I know that I can be in all my kids' life, I want to be as stable, I want to be the best father possible whenever he needs me.
And later, you're a right fighter, you're a right fighter, you're a right fighter, and all of you are right. And it is so wrong for this little boy.
I was going to pick up Elijah. What I thought was a normal exchange, and Jeff was just ranting and raving. You're a loser, you're a whore. He just got more infuriated when I didn't respond. That's when Jeffrey threatened my life. I can't wait for you to die. It's gonna be sooner than you think. I was scared, so I took the baby to the car and I called my lawyer right away. And then we went down to the courthouse to file for an emergency protection order, which was granted.
In times when I've been called in to a custody situation and asked as an officer of the court to make a determination about what would be in the best interest of the child, I always look for certain behaviors that are red flags. And if one or both sides is accusing the other person of all manner of sins, it's like, okay, rape and abuse and neglect and threats and lies, and all of a sudden the person with whom they were really close has become evil. It's kind of like overreaching. That bothers me. Then I look at the number of motions that have been filed with the court, where you run to the courthouse and try to get Big Daddy Court to make somebody do something, and you see multiple filings and all that always bothers me. And so I start looking at the credibility of the parties here and see whose agenda is being run. And, you know, I've heard all of this back and forth, but I haven't heard one person say one word about what would be the impact on the child, what's in the best interest of the child. I'm just hearing a lot of angst and rancor and everything going back and forth, everybody wanting to get their words in and their accusations in and point their fingers. But nobody's talking about the baby.
Dr. Phill. If possible, I do want to say this. that ever since he was born, since the first day he was born, I reached out to Amy, to her sister, and her mom to be in his life. For the first 2 or 3 months, I only seen him Monday and Tuesday for 16 hours. And then finally, I kept begging her for more days and more days for my child. And then finally, she wouldn't give it to me, so I went to the court.
Because you wouldn't pay half a daycare.
I have all receipts of everything that I've paid. I sent all those to Tara. I asked since day one to be in his life. That's all I ever wanted. And now that she's trying to relocate to Pennsylvania, all I'm asking is that for her to stay here, stay local, so I can still be a father in his life. Now, ever since I was a child, I had no father. He wasn't in my life.
It's all about you.
I've been begging and begging to be in his life. And now finally, she wants to leave because she's not getting what she wants.
Can I say
But this whole sob story with, oh, because I didn't have a dad.
It's not a sob story.
No, I believe it. I know this is all, that's your feeling on it. However, what is in the best, if everything is just in the best interest for Elijah, what about changing his name?
I never wanted to change his name.
Really?
I didn't want to change his name.
That's what that Facebook post is, because you guys were calling him Benny, short for Bentley.
He has a nickname. Like our youngster, her name's Boosh.
I had to get an affidavit.
It's only a nickname.
It's a whole new name. Benny is a nickname for Bentley.
My daughter couldn't say Elijah. She was only 2 at the time, so she would call him Baby, but it sounded like Benny. She'd Benny, Benny, and it was so cute. I don't see what's wrong with that. So we were like, oh,
the text messages all say Bentley. I'm bringing Bentley home.
Yes. We started calling him Bentley, Benny. We had like 5 different nicknames for him. We called him Eli. We had tons of nicknames.
Well, let's confuse the kid.
And that's healthy. Thank you. That's healthy. He's got to be a different kid when he's at their house. He won't take a blanket. He won't take anything that soothes my child.
That suits you.
So
how is it for me, a binky? Really? And you're going to tell me my kid doesn't need it? He's screaming and crying. He doesn't want to get in the car with you, Gwen.
Okay.
He does the same thing when we give him to you. He does the same exact thing. He's a child.
Never.
Yes, he does.
Roll the tape.
the 3 of you are in danger of being very, very shocked. Oh, hell, you're not even listening. Okay.
I need to take a break. I can't do it.
Yeah, well, I don't take breaks. You know, I'm really concerned about the child, and so I asked a good friend of mine and a good friend of the show, Ariva Martin, to be here today. Ariva is a family law attorney and child advocate. She says if Jeffrey and Amy ever expect to have a better co-parenting situation, they both need to come to some set of priorities that have this child at the top. Ariva, you've been sitting listening to this. Help me out here.
I've been shaking my head, Dr. Phill. You hit the nail on the head when you said all the hot button leverage issues being played here. Rape, abuse, physical threats, all of those are used typically to gain leverage in the court, and it's not about the child. When you said no one's talking about the child, I had to think in my mind, have I even heard one of them mention the child's name? And I had to really think really hard about that because they're so busy fighting each other. I don't hear anyone stepping up and saying, let's put all of this behind us.
I did.
What now is in the best interest of this child? No one's talking about that. The dad wants to be right about the so-called rape. Mom wants to be right about how she's not purposely, didn't purposely get pregnant. But who's talking about what is for the best interest of this child? Now, none of the 3 on the stage.
I agree with what she said, 100%. I've never done anything to hurt the relationship with the baby because I love the baby.
Really, what about taking my kid and not dropping him off like you were supposed to? And sitting at a gas station for over an hour, I had to call the police to go get my kid.
Even when we had these pickups and drop-offs,
these games,
please let me
all
finish.
the drop-offs are games.
Please let me finish.
You're playing with my son. They're games. Unnecessary. You won't take his blanket for soothing. You won't take his binkies. You take them. You won't drop them off to me.
Dr. Phill, I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying. All I'm asking, I do want to stop all the fighting. I really do care about my son. All I want to do is work with you, and I understand what she's saying. I don't want the back and forth. I don't want the fight anymore.
I can't make it out there. I need to be with my family.
I guess I'll say this, and then we're done. Gwen, you need to listen.
I am listening, but you have to understand it's never like this. It's never like this.
It's never like what?
They told us that when you go out there, if you want to say something, you have to interrupt.
Okay, you're right.
You're right. They told us that.
You're right.
It's a show.
I'm not trying to be right.
No, you're right. You're a right fighter. You're a right fighter. You're a right fighter. And all of you are right. And it is so wrong for this little boy. Look, I'm going to tell you how it is. Oh, hell, you're not even listening. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell all of you people, because they're having a conversation between them over here while I'm trying to talk to them.
I can't.
What?
I need to take a break. I can't do it.
Yeah, well, I don't take breaks. Here's what I'm going to say to all of you at home. Maybe you will listen to it. And it is this. There are certain red flags that pop up in custody situations with the court that really give you a strong indication of whether one parent or the other is the best suited to be the custodial parent for a child. Okay? Now, what the court always looks for is the hero. They're looking for the peacemaker. They're looking for that person that rises above the fray and says, you know what, I'm going to try to find a way where we can all get together and jointly lift this child up in life. What they run from, what they are afraid of, is the parent that the other person has not one redeeming quality. They're dishonest, they're liars, they're negligent, they're abusive, they're racist, they're this, they're that, just something always. And that's what the court really looks at and weighs very, very carefully. Now, I've gone through a discussion here with Amy wherein I think she very straightforwardly said, I was not raped. Now, in the middle of that conversation, I was interrupted by both of you. So I guess you didn't want to be vindicated, but you got to say what you wanted to say. So what I'm telling you is this. The three of you are in danger of being very, very shocked. When you invite the government into your family, you lose control. And so you might think you got all the text messages, you got all the proof, you got all this, you got all that, you got successfully got a protection order. And you can go down there and all your self-righteous, sanctimonious behavior and put it all in front of the court, and they say, what the hell's wrong with you? I will agree to arrange for a mediator to sit down outside the court and try to negotiate something among you before you go up those courthouse steps.
We need to.
And quit being right fighters. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Gwen? Fair enough? All right, next, we're going to talk to the man Time Magazine once named America's best preacher. And he has written a book that is lights out. I love it when I talk to this guy. After the break, the Bishop T.D. Jakes is here. We'll be right back. Well, Bishop Jakes is not only senior pastor of his church, the Potter's House in Dallas, but he is a prolific film producer. He is a prolific author. He has written a new book, Instinct, The Power to Unleash Your Inborn Drive, and it's available everywhere right now. I am so proud to say, please welcome the Bishop T.D. Jakes. All right. Good to see you, man.
Good to be seen.
All right, how are you?
I'm great.
I think that you are such an inspirational speaker. I mean, I've watched you change lives before my eyes because I've been in your church. But I love it when you write it down because we have a chance to process it in our own speed, at our own pace, reflect on it, and go back to it.
Absolutely.
Tell me the premise of this book.
The whole premise of this book is that I really believe that we search for years for our purpose to find out where we really fit, what is truly us. Not about success, not about degrees, not about wealth. To find out where you fit and where you are best utilized. And most people live their lives with a question mark, not really understanding where they fit. Instinct says, in spite of not having experience or in spite of not being validated, I am instinctively inclined to go this way or that way, giving myself permission to evolve out of the microcosm of other people's expectations.
You know, I've used this before from your book. Instinct advises. And information informs.
Exactly.
And together, those two things become direction, because you're saying if you listen to your instinct, it will advise you, it will tell you what is authentic for you. And then you've got to gather information so you know real world how to make that happen. This isn't some spiritual treatise. This is a real world life guide.
Oh, absolutely. And when you balance yourself between that informs and that is instinctive, you are far more able to find that big thing that you're looking for in life that brings gratification, whatever your big elephant is.
Your subtitle is The Power to Unleash the Inborn Drive. And what the bishop does in this book is talk about how you figure this out for you. I mean, you really guide us through how to get
We
there.
need this. We need this in employees. We take people and we craft them into the position, but we really need to evaluate how this person's gifts are best suited in a company. We often don't become as productive on our jobs because you're trying to take my gift and make it fit your need instead of discovering how my gift is an asset to the company. Corporations need it, marriages need it, families need it, but most of all, you need it so that when you give yourself to somebody or you present yourself to somebody, you are sure of who you are and you know that you are a unique gift and an asset to them.
Man, can I get an amen? Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, the book is Instinct, The Power to Unleash Your Inborn Drive. I promise you, this is a page turner for you. We'll be right back. Well, this has been a favorite time of mine because I've had an opportunity to sit and talk with Bishop T.D. Jakes. And your world is getting bigger and bigger by the minute, is it not? Your reach, your impact on people?
I love it. I love the opportunity to go beyond the realms of the church and embrace people in corporations and communities. And just the more you give away, the more comes back to you. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I tell you, he stays on the cutting edge. And if you're ever in Dallas, you need to go to Potter's House. If you're not, you need to get on the internet and attend church that way. That's amazing how many people you have.
So many people are streaming online. They go on tdjakes.org and they just whip it right up in their laptop and say an amen, I guess, on your phone. You know.
Well, that works. Well, listen, I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to you for being such a good friend of ours and for talking about this book. A special thanks to family law attorney and child advocate Areva Martin. Thank you for all your input and special. Bishop T.D. Jakes' latest book, Instinct, The Power to Unleash Your Inborn Drive, is now available everywhere books are sold. Pick it up. You'll be glad you did. We'll see you next time. Come walk Robinoff with me, will you? We'll get in between us. All right. All right, Mom, we're going to bookend you here. We're going to bookend you. How's that? All right, guys.